Hey traders, I'm going to do a quick breakdown of the positions that I'm in and why. This is not trade advice. I'm not telling you what to do. I may come in an hour and change all my positions. Sometimes that happens. And I'm always managing my risk. I always have a stop loss and I always know how much I'm going to lose if I'm going to lose. So it's not an invitation to copy me. So, um, first of all, on Bitcoin, I have these limit orders that are just chilling. And I'm really focusing right now on trading just the monthly levels outside of this mean reversion strategy. So I'm in, let's just go through a couple things. Silver, I would be waiting for price to take this low, and then I would decide to go long or short. Same thing with gold. Alternatively, if we come back and take the high, that would give me a decision. And same with platinum. I want to see what happens here at the low. So there's no trade for me on those. The indices, I don't really like shorting the US indices, but US 30, to me, they are creating potential short triggers in the short term at least, where it's not a very old high, but we're failing at January's high. US 100 so far failed at January's high. The S&P 500 is kind of flirting with it. It's a little bit above it. Not really a clean breakout though. JP 225. If we close above January's high, I would long. I don't see myself shorting it though. On the other hand, EU50 also is giving a potential short, but it's pretty strong. I actually decided to be short in Australia. Oz 200, not really the best entry. Late entry. It actually gave two short signals. It gave a short signal on this day, which would have just barely been taken out, and then a short signal on this day. So we're under the all-time high and we're also under the January high. So I decided to take that. So that's the first position. Russell could provide us a long if we come down here. Hong Kong 50. Don't really like trading that. Okay, now let's look at crypto and Forex. So the dollar is showing long because we're closing over this. This is a weekly level, but weekly levels are not nearly as significant. So I'm looking for long USD X pairs, short X USD pairs. There are a couple minority reports. So JPY is a potential minority report where it's almost a fail at the January high, but the other ones are looking up. I also don't want to trade a 15 pip stop like we're right here. However, if we fail here, I would short this tomorrow. I want to actually want a larger stop. I don't want a really tight stop. I would like to see price move a little bit further. And like I'm saying, for the most part, this one, the other ones are up. So I'll take a sec long. It's the strongest relatively. It's a clear breakout above this. Little TP's right here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we come back, but it's also the Swedish krona is one that on a high time frame tends to go up and can put in some nice rallies. So I took that. SGD is another one that's a little bit borderline. It's signaling along right now where we're just above the January, but it's a little bit too close. So I want something that's more clear. And then the rand is up, but it's not a signal. Meanwhile, on AUD put in a signal to sell on Thursday, which I took. And I added an advanced here, which is maybe a little bit risky, as it could make sense for price to come back into this, but also could make sense for it not to. So it's giving a sell where we closed under the December low and we closed under the January low. And then we have GBP, which is a similar thing. It's giving a sell signal. We closed under the January, but we are above the sorry, it closed under the January, but is above the. It's coming into the December, and it could give a long signal here. I don't want to trade it so close. However, arguably we're breaking trend lines too, and might just plow through it. Now, we're getting a minority report on EU, where EU is potentially giving a long signal. This is kind of like JPY. I don't want to run a 15 pip stop loss. Here would be, yeah, basically a 15 pip. It's tighter than I want. But if price starts, also because it's a minority report, I don't want to take it. Maybe that's wrong. I want to see price start to, I mean, obviously it'd be an insane RR if it moved, but I would like to see price be a little bit further from this line, a bigger wick. I mean, it's a small bounce so far. I'd rather get an accurate signal than I'd rather get an accurate signal than that's what I care the most about. So if everything reverses a little bit tomorrow, this is potentially a pivot. But I want to see majority signaling the same thing. I would want to see a big green day on AUD. I don't want to see it, but because I'm in a short, but to long EU, right? Okay. Now I've also started to trade altcoins. I'm trading altcoins because I don't trust the prop accounts to pay me out necessarily. I got verified in a number of exchanges with my Palau digital residency. And my idea is to trade the monthlies. And I can use CoinMarketCap volume as a screener to see what's interesting. What's right now, what is up has an unusual aberrant volume. So I notice Link and Sui have unusual volume. Also Jupiter, but Jupiter is not tradable. Maybe Manta. Let's look at Manta. Let's come back and look at this Manta thing. What is this? Manta. Yeah, I don't want to trade that. I need more price history. I need old monthly levels. So we're going to look at Link and we're going to look at Sui. Now, Link also is interesting. I was talking to a random person on the beach last night, and he's a stuntman, not a professional trader. He told me he just bought Link. I'm like, why? He didn't give a good reason at all. And I went and I looked at Link, and I saw that it's giving a sell signal. What is a sell signal is people are taking profit at the February 22 highs. It's rejected. And for sure we could go higher. It took me a while to get in. When I saw the signals around 9:30, 9:45, and the risk reward changed quite a bit, and I'm underwater initially, but it's a signal. The day's 2.5 hours, and yeah, I mean if the signal changed, then that sucks. But I'm seeing a signal, and I took it. I'm seeing the same thing on the Sui one as well. So the signals are a little bit different but similar, where Chainlink is failing at the February 22 high, but cleared the January and December highs and is still above them. Whereas Sui has failed at the January high. What is this? But just got above this May high. Oh, there's not enough price history. I think this is all we have here. Basically at all-time high, but to me it's a signal just failing at this January high. I'll take it. With risk management, This one I am initially in profit on, although my length position is a little bit bigger. So for TP, I am using TP on my cryptos. Is this where I put it? Yeah, I tried to put it near this weekly low. It looked like there would be maybe demand here if we came back in here. Possibly, and just trade something else. And then Sui, I'm looking at this weekly low, although it might be reasonable to aim all the way down to this January low. Yeah. So the only thing that has difficult for me today is the EU and JPY situation, where everything else is signaling different, and it could be a cause for me to just be flat. I could hedge by taking these. I really dislike how tight the stop needs to be, though. Although there was this trade, which would have worked amazing, which would have had a 13 pip stop. Now, I think if I had the combination of everything kind of signaling the same way, and here on this day, it already actually had a pretty big reaction, right? Even though it was tight, started to move the other way. So the combination of being extremely tight, having to use a really tight stop, and moving up right now and not signaling makes me not want to trade it. But again, I'm open to trading it tomorrow. I think if it starts to change direction. While we're here, last thing, let's just look at, are there any other things that look really interesting? I mean, nothing else has too crazy. What I would want to see is crazy volume and like a big move. And those are really the only ones that we're seeing. Ron. Okay, that's interesting. And then, I suppose it's also giving a signal. I have enough risk on, I don't feel the need to trade it. And also it's moved pretty considerably, but I mean, here's the example as you take the high and you lose it, and it can give pretty big reaction. So a lot of volume there. Volume signals profit taking. I'm also looking for like lower capping coins that have really high volume, usually high volume, but this one not tradable. Oh yeah, there's not too much. Celestia, I heard about this one. Just been up. Only coin. No signal or nothing. There was a buy signal on this day, which could have worked depending on where the stop's being trailed. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, that's it. I mean, we're at this point we're 30 minutes from the close, so Okay.